Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to a video all about hacks and habits to help simplify your life. Life is so busy, especially if you are a mum. So today I wanted to share with you just a few tips, and I would say they're all very manageable. You don't have to be a minimalist or anything. Anyone could implement these tips into their life. So I hope you really enjoy them. And I'm also going to be giving away £500 in today's video thanks to Curve. So 5 subscribers will be getting £100 each. So stay tuned to find out more about Curve and more about how you can enter that competition. But yeah, with all that said, let's get into today's tips. My first tip is to set alarms for daily reminders on your phone. Life can be so busy, especially with kids, that you cannot be expected to remember everything. So just set alarms on your phone so it's like it's automated. So I have alarms for literally things like take your vitamins, take any medication. I have an alarm that goes off every day at 2:30, which is the don't forget your kids alarm. So whatever I'm doing, I'll remember to do the school run. Just little alarms like that. Sometimes I'll set them as well. Maybe, pay this bill, call this person. If I have those alarms going off on my phone, I'm more likely to stick to them and to actually get things done. And of course, a great way to simplify your life is to have a good declutter. Just go through your things and get rid of stuff that you no longer need, whether you take it to the tip, put it online to sell it, or take it to the charity shop. You will feel so much better once you've decluttered. But if the task feels way too big, you have so much stuff, then a really good thing that you can do is a declutter challenge. There's so many of these on Pinterest, and I've actually also created one which I'll link down below. It's like a 30-day declutter challenge, so it just breaks it up. So maybe on the first day you'll just do the fridge, on the second day you'll just do your desk, on the third day you'll just do the junk drawer. By breaking it up that way, it doesn't feel so massive, but then by the end of the month, you would have actually decluttered so many things. And something worth decluttering is your purse. You may not do this that often, but whenever I empty out my purse, get rid of all the rubbish and the snacks and the receipts that are in there, I feel so much better for it. And I would actually really recommend getting a purse organizer, especially if you have a bucket bag. I got this felt one on Amazon, and it has so many different compartments on it. It makes me feel super organized. It has big ones for drinks, it has very small ones for pens, a place for cards, and I just love that I can kind of look in my handbag, see everything in its little place, and I feel really organized for all the stuff that I carry around. And a really great way to simplify your purse or your wallet is to get a Curve card. Curve actually combines your debit cards, your credit cards, and your loyalty cards all onto one, so you actually only have to carry this around and you only have to remember one PIN number. Curve are not a bank, so they don't hold your money like a traditional bank card, but you can connect all of your bank cards to Curve, and then you actually earn cash back as you spend at your favorite retailers like Tesco, Amazon, IKEA, and so many more. It was also really easy to set up all of my cards on Curve, and the app means I can just go on, choose which card I want to pay with, and it's very simple to do. You also don't lose any of your credit card rewards by using Curve, and you can actually get more cash back and more rewards from having it. So say if you have a card that gives you 1% cash back on boots, if you actually put that card onto Curve, you'll get double the cash back, so you'll get another 1% on top of that. And it's a MasterCard, so it's accepted anywhere that MasterCard is accepted. And I just love how easy it is. I only need one card. It fits into my little pocket on my leggings, you know, the one, and I can just bring that out with me, and that's it. You can also link this up to XPay if you want to be completely hands-free, and there's other benefits of having Curve as well, like there's really good exchange rates if you are going on a 2022 holiday. They also have spending alerts to help you manage your money, and there's really good protection on this card. I think you're protected up to £100,000. I'm loving it, so I'll put some more information in the description down below if you want to find out more. And Curve is also offering every new sign up through the link in my description a £10 welcome bonus and 1% cash back. So all you have to do is sign up to Curve, they'll send you out a card, and then you can add your first funding card, make a transaction, and you will get your bonus of £10. And as I mentioned, we're doing a giveaway, so 5 of you are going to win £100 each. We're going to choose 5 people at random, but I'll put all the terms and conditions in the description down below. My next tip is to plan simple meals and simple workouts. I think sometimes we try to do too much and then it's actually not sustainable. So when I meal plan, I tend to leave one night pretty much empty on the weekend for a takeaway, a ready meal, or leftovers. And then I'll also try and mix quick 10-minute meals with slightly longer meals. And if I ever make a meal like a big shepherd's pie that takes like 30 to 40 minutes, I'll always try and batch cook it. So I'm actually making multiple meals, but just like with one lot of the time, if that makes sense. And then with workouts, I always think in my head, better than nothing. So rather than say, okay, I'm going to do an hour workout in the gym every day of the week, like that's probably not actually going to happen, but I can do a 10-minute workout. There's so many great ones on YouTube and everyone can find 10 minutes, or like if you can just get out with the dog or do like 20 sit-ups and 20 push-ups, it's better than nothing. And my next tip is to learn to say no, and that is so much easier said than done, especially if you are naturally a yes person or a people pleaser. But saying yes to everything can just all be too much. So to help you say no, you can set some boundaries that you try and stick to. So say you decide, okay, I never want to work after 7 p.m. I never want to work on the weekend, or even just saying to yourself, it's okay to not go to every single social gathering or event that you're invited to, then that should help you say no. Something else that could help to simplify your life is to limit the amount of screen time that you have as an adult. Forget the kids for a second and think about yourself. On your phone, you can actually see how much screen time you're having and how much time you're spending on certain apps as well. And you can set limits. So if you go onto your phone and you set a limit for Instagram, say you set it for an hour, then once you've been on that app for an hour, a little notification or alarm will pop up and just let you know that you've already spent an hour on it today. And then you can think to yourself, okay, do I need to really be spending longer than an hour on this app? Probably no. And it will just help you to get your screen time down. And similar to screen time, another tip is to switch off, and you can do that in various ways, whether it's a full-on digital detox or something like a blackout night. So a blackout night is when no one in the family is allowed any electronics, like not even the TV is allowed on. You just literally enjoy each other's company and play board games and card games as well. This is something our kids love and we tend to do more when we're on holiday. Or another way that you can switch off, which what I try to do, is not go on my phone in the morning. I just find when I'm trying to get ready, get the kids ready, do the snacks, and just get everyone out the door, going on my phone is the biggest time zapper. And lately, I also have not been listening to the news at all. I was finding that I was just getting anxious because I used to come downstairs, put the news on while I made breakfast and everything, but actually it's been quite heavy lately. And I know some people just love to listen to the news, like to be connected, but actually I was finding for my mental health, it's just been better for me not to be listening to the news. And something that I find really helpful, and I've actually made quite a few videos about in the past, is to meal prep. But I do appreciate that not everyone has time to do a full weekly meal prep every week. Like I actually haven't meal prepped for a few weeks. But one thing that I do find really useful is when my groceries are delivered, I will just wash and cut up all the fruit and veg pretty much. And that way we always have it to hand in the fridge or in the morning when I'm quickly making like granola or yogurt, or the kids want some strawberries. Like everything's already washed and cut up and ready to go. I don't have to do it every single time. And my next tip is to group tasks together or consider time blocking. So time blocking is when you say to yourself, okay, in that hour, I'm going to answer all of my emails. And then in the next one, I'm going to do all of my admin. It actually reminds me of, you know, when you're in high school and you have like subject periods. So you might have 5 periods a day. One would be maths, one would be English, one would be science, etc. So you would literally go into that lesson, you would do maths for the hour, then you would close up all of your books, and then you would move on to the next thing. It's actually such a good way to focus, and it can work in adult life as well. I actually recently read the book, The 4-Hour Work Week, and he suggests only answering emails in like the morning, first thing in the morning, and then again when like in the afternoon and actually telling your colleagues that that's what you do. And that way you're not constantly checking your phone. You're not always looking at every email that comes in. Next up is to get everything ready the night before. I feel like I've said this so many times on my channel, but honestly, it makes my life so much easier when I do it for the kids, but also for myself. If I lay out the clothes that I'm going to wear the next day, it just is so much easier to plan it all the night before, because the morning is always going to be a rush. My friend Ash actually says that 10 minutes in the evening is worth like way more in the morning, or she's got like a little saying for it, because it's actually so much quicker to just do it all in the evening, whether it be like preparing your kids' bags, snacks, things they need for clubs. Just do it all in the evening and it makes life so much easier. And another tip is to actually concentrate on sleep. I feel like sleep is something I've never been very good at, but it massively affects your mood and how you function. So it is really important. So I've actually recently started taking a supplement. It's called Heights, I think, and it's actually for your brain, and it has really been helping me sleep. Other things that help me sleep as well is winding down an hour before I actually go to bed. Another way to simplify your life is to have really good, simple routines. I personally love a routine for myself. I just like to know what's going on and like be in control. And then I also find that the kids respond to a routine so well. But the simpler, the better. Like for the kids' bedtime routine, it's just literally bath, dance party, books, and then bed. That is it. And in my morning cleaning routine and evening cleaning routine, I literally have like 5 or 6 things that I try to get done. It's literally like surfaces, table, dishes in the dishwasher. Like it's very simple, so it's manageable. So anything on top of that is obviously a bonus, but I personally love having a routine. So like when I leave the house in the morning, all the beds are made, everything's in the dishwasher, like I kind of know where I'm at, and it just makes my life really simple. And once you start it, it really does become a habit and you kind of just do it on autopilot. The next tip is a huge one, and it could probably be its very own video. Let me know if you guys want to see that, but it is to vision board. So for a very long time, like years and years and years ago, I read The Secret, and ever since then I have had a vision board. I must admit it is electronic at the moment, and I also have a list of things on my phone that I want to try and achieve this year. I think there's like 70 things on my phone, but by having a vision board, it kind of gives you an overall goal, so that when things do come into your life, if it doesn't align with your goals, it's easier to say no and it's easier to forget those things. You can also write down your values as well, whatever they are. If you write down your values, then again, if an opportunity comes into your life and you think actually that is not like in line with one of my values, it's easier to turn it down and to not focus on it so much. So I would totally recommend doing a vision board. It doesn't have to be some fancy thing like that you art and craft. You can literally just put pictures as your desktop screen on your laptop or on your phone, so it's always front of mind. Something else that I do to help me stay focused is to write a to-do list every morning. And I know I've talked about this before on my channel, but if I literally write down just 6 things, normally 3 things that I really want to get done for work, and then 3 things that I want to get done in my personal life, chances are I'll probably get more than 6 things done. But it just helps to focus me. So my personal things could literally be like book a doctor's appointment, or something to do with self-care, like or paint your toenails or something like that. I just find that by putting it down, it just focuses me for the day and it really helps. And another tip is to actually schedule in self-care. And that might sound silly, but if you literally book in the morning that you're going for a run, or book in when you're going to have your nails done, or even say on a Tuesday night, that's when I do a face mask. On a Wednesday night, I'm going to fake tan. If you book in the self-care, it's more likely to happen. Kiki has actually joined me for the next tip. Actually, getting a dog helps your mental health, doesn't it? But my next tip was actually to say that speed cleaning is amazing. I've made so many videos about it in the past, and I think sometimes people think that I clean all the time because of the videos, but it's actually the opposite. I let everything just pile up around me, and then I'll clean in like a burst of time. So I'll set a timer for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, and then I'll just clean, see how much I can get done in that time. Kiki! And it's definitely worth having an overhaul of all of your outgoings and your subscriptions as well. I bet if you go on your phone and you go to the subscriptions, there's probably apps and things on there that you completely forgot about, things that the kids downloaded and that you no longer need or want. So just unsubscribe before it renews. And the same, if you look at your outgoings on your bank account, like often I'll do that and think, oh my God, I didn't realize that that direct debit was still going. I completely forgot that I signed up to that and it's now renewed. So you can then have the opportunity to cancel all of those things. And the last tip that I wanted to share with you guys is actually not to multitask if it is something that you really need to focus on. So I feel like this one's controversial because often on my channel I'll be cleaning but also listening to a book at the same time. And while that's fine for very mundane tasks or things that you don't even have to think about, that you've done a million times before, it doesn't work when you're trying to multitask, but you actually need to really focus on each thing. So in that case, it's actually quicker to just focus on one thing at a time. But yeah, I think those are all the tips that I wanted to share with you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed these hacks and habits. Don't forget to comment down below to be in with a chance to win £100 from Curve. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys. Sorry about Kiki barking. Oh my God.